Sequel Podcast. I'm Matt Bonta.
I'm Darrell Easley.
And we are going to talk about
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, maybe some Dune.
Yep.
Cory's not here.
Yep. See how he is? See, you get kids and then all of a sudden you can't do anything and then, yeah.
He'll probably be the first person to listen to this.
Yep. Hope he's feeling better. Hope they're feeling better.
So.
I got sick on vacation too, so that was kind of sucky.
Yeah, we talked about that on here.
Take them to Disneyland and then they get sick.
Yeah, we talked about that on here. Is that a new tattoo you got going?
Yeah. I've been working on it for about a year. I just haven't had much time to get done, but yeah, I had a tattoo of my ex-wife name on my shoulder, and a rose, and then some barbed wire around it, kind of rednecky looking. But what the hell? We've been married like 17 years at that point. And everybody I've dated ever since, and then I've just recently got married this past summer. Nobody liked it. I won't lie. So I decided to finally get a cover up, and I got back in touch with the guy that did the original work, and he's taking the whole sleeve now. He pitched an idea to me, and he covered this up. So this is all brand new work up here, and then decided to bring it all the way down the arm.
Is it like a koi fish?
No, it's actually a macro American eagle with some barbed wire and the feet, and there's the nose and the eyes and top of his head. Another claw on the backside. So it's kind of like macro, or it's like traditional, only bigger. You only see portions of whatever's there, but once it's colored in, it'll be recognizable. So.
When are you gonna get that done?
I've got way too much money in it now, and I've got probably another $400 to $600 left to do.
Oh, that's not
to get
too
the rest
bad.
of color. So
yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm over 1,000.
Oh, just with that.
Yeah. Well, I'll be over 1,000. I'm at like 700 right now.
Where do you go to get your work done?
It's Wolf Sea Tattoo. It's a guy named Jason Freeman. He's had a couple of things. He was down at Aces for a long time.
Sure.
And he was with Rob Roy and the rest of the guys down there.
I hear Aces is good, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, Aces is pretty good, but they're too commercialized now. They moved into the place next to them. They used to be right there in that corner, and now they moved in a little house there. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of, I don't know, maybe a little too commercial. They're more into it for the money than everybody.
Than the art.
Than the art, yeah, exactly. They're more of that, hit it on the weekends. I want to get a tattoo kind of thing. And this guy Jason, he's been, all over. He's good friends with Chris Nunez on the tattoo show on the TV there, and he does some touring with Peck and Nunez, and he's worked back east. So he's a good guy. He had some health issues here for a while, and I kind of lost touch with him. But now I'm going to try to get some stuff done here in the next 3 weeks. So
cool. We haven't talked about Not in the Dark, so let's talk about Not in the Dark first.
Sure.
So you were in Not in the Dark.
I was. I had a kind of it was almost a cameo kind of thing.
It's basically a cameo. It's basically a cameo.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a shirt for you.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know where it is, though. I was going to have you wear it because I wanted to do a post-credit scene.
Oh, I see.
And we never got around to doing it.
Mm.
I mean, in the script, I wrote a post-credit scene where you're like in a hot tub.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it brings the new bride in. And then I'm
supposed to be in a pool of blood.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then I changed that to... I was going to have you just kind of standing there looking out over the lake.
Yeah.
But
Never
by then,
by
then, it was a rough shoot.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a rough shoot, just trying to get people together. So, it was tough getting them when we had them, and then trying to get them back after they were already done.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, the two people was that much harder, and it's we're already done with the movie, and I'm already sending it out to get screened or whatever.
Call it good, right?
Yeah, so it's okay, it's time to move on. It's done. Why dick around?
Yeah.
But I do have a shirt for you. Remind me to grab it, and you can have it. I think it's like World's Greatest Dad or something on there. Something like that.
That's classic for a vampire flick. Oh,
well,
man.
well, you're the patriarch of this family of vampires, so like...
That's where I was at World War II and then the Victorian... Or not
No,
World
Civil
War.
War.
Civil War. And then Victorian times and
right,
stuff.
and those are those were right around the same time period, I believe.
It's kind of a neat little tie-in, thinking, kind of like Jack the Ripper.
Right, you were Jack the Ripper essentially in my continuity. You were Jack the Ripper, and you were some kind of Civil War.
Civil War, just some dude riding through the...
Right, taking advantage of maybe some easy kills, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a buffet in the war times. Why not?
Yeah, people are dying all over the place. It's not like you're going to get caught, right?
Right, so I mean... What's another dead body that got shot by the other side?
Yeah.
Or friendly fire.
Or hung in a tree.
Yeah, whatever it is. Well, like, because they
hanging,
strung him up.
Yeah,
they strung him up.
And I cut him down, and he ended up being lunch. Hey, yes, you wanted some help. There's always payback, right?
Right. So I only had you like 2 days?
Yeah, it wasn't very much. We did the one
Too
thing
quick, like
with
30,
Civil
45
War.
minutes.
We were out for, I don't know, maybe an hour.
Right.
And then we did the other one downtown.
Let's talk about the first one. Do you remember what happened when we went up there to go film?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, homeboy, is this my property? Yeah, I'll shoot you in the ass. Yeah,
did he say that?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
But he was a little miffed that we were up there. He asked us what we were doing, and we were dumping stuff, and he was pissed off, and had to calm him down a little bit. Say, no, we're just here shooting a movie. Look, camera, no trash, camera. Yeah, he was a little miffed.
I did text him. I did send him the link to the movie when it was up.
Did he answer you?
I think he said something like, "Oh, cool" or "awesome" or whatever. He didn't really. Nothing beyond that. So I don't know if he even watched or what.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did. Like I hung on to that text.
Cool.
For the longest time.
It was nice of him to let us go up there. After
the fact that we were already up there.
He was going to string us up before we got the other guy strung up. So. But yeah, to let us stay, that was pretty cool.
Definitely. And that was one of the first days, I think.
Yeah.
I think I had you on the first day and the last day.
Yeah.
By and large.
Wow. Well, the last day we were just downtown. We ran down there and we met, I don't know, the two other people. That were there.
Michaela.
Oh no, just the one girl, and then
Michaela. She had her boyfriend. She had her boyfriend.
And then we did that one little quick
shot down the alleyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to take place in
Victorian England, but it was a little bit different.
You hear the fans and everything going and down the alleyway. Well, no, because I cut out all the sound and I just put the soundtrack over it.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
Yeah, that's always fun. I learned how to put it in context. I'll always owe that to you, Matt.
And you got the teeth too.
Yep, I still got the teeth. I still got the contacts and the teeth.
And the hat.
Yep.
Right, I gave you the hat.
Yep, still got the hat.
Did you keep the duster?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I still have it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want it back for next movie, let me know.
If you want to wear it in the next one. Because that was the one I wore in Street Toughs.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I like the dust, the jacket so much and the weight of it and stuff like that. I'm gonna go get me one. I almost had one at an auction here not too long ago, but it went for a little more money than I had that time. So
sure, they're expensive.
Yeah,
they're not cheap.
A couple $100, $200-$300 for a really good one for an moleskin.
Yeah, mine was a cheap one. I think it was like $100.
Yeah,
I think so.
More of a canvas kind of material.
Right. Well, it's like I'm trying to budget out this movie, and I don't want to spend money on everything.
It's a ton of money. Yeah.
Like, what's the cheapest one? This looks good, and then I take it off, right?
I don't know. You had it on for a good part of the movie.
I don't ever stop taking it off. Maybe.
I don't know. I'd have to see it again. I don't really recall whether you had the jacket on all the time. You had a kind of a rainbow colored sweatshirt on.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because we could talk about Street Toughs too.
You're
right. Or did we? I had you over after we were done with Street Toughs last time, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about it then?
A little bit, I think.
We talked about Alien, right?
We did. We did talk about it. It's only been, like I said, a few years since I've been over.
Oh, well, we shot Street Toughs in 2016.
Yep.
So we probably did the podcast in 2017.
Yeah. I think we might have talked about Prometheus.
Well, that all
the whole series.
Alien. Yeah. No, I wore it because when I first started shooting Street Toughs, on day one, it was just the tie-dye cut-off sleeve hoodie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep.
And so my arms were showing. I had all my tattoos. So then I got something else to kind of cover up my arms.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the duster as well. And I think I got the duster because that was my reference to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You ever watch that?
Yep, I have seen it a few times.
Because the two guys are always fighting about who gets to wear the duster.
Yeah.
So that was my reference to that.
Reference to that one.
Right, so that's where that came from. That's where that was birthed out of.
Yeah.
Like we got these... For those who can't see, I put on Street Toughs in the background. All those gorgeous shots of downtown. This doesn't look that bad. It's clean.
No, it's actually really cool. Yeah. I like how it jumps. You know what we could have done with more of, and I wish we could have put more of that in because it was a biker movie. We should have had a lot more bikes, and I tried to get
and that would have been nice. That would have been real nice.
That would have filled out that part.
We had one bike.
Yes. We only used it in a couple of scenes.
And Cory was the only one that ever drove it.
No. The other guy...
Sam, my brother also, and that's coming up right here. You see him on it.
Yeah, because when you're out there and your truck breaks down and then he's running up out of the ditch and jumps on the bike and rides away.
I forgot all about that. Sam rides it too. Yeah, Sam rides a bike.
Yeah.
I don't have this truck anymore. There's going to be a pseudo commentary on this.
Yeah, there you go. How'd you get the check engine light to come on? Cory unplugged something for you?
No, it was already.
It was realistic.
It was one of those ones where it'll turn on, and then it'll turn off at some point, and then it turns back on again. I think it was an O2 sensor. It's always an O2 sensor.
Yeah, it seems like anyway.
So. Yeah,
that was that. There's the duster right there.
Yeah, got the duster on, the orange hat.
Yep. I like when you turn the hat inside out and it.
No, I got tape on it. You can see right there.
Oh, okay, that's right, huh?
I got tape covering up.
I never noticed the tape.
I mean, it's kind of stupid.
No, it's really cool. I thought he had it inside out.
No, it's just the tape on there. And that's the bike over there. Like it's so like, what is going on?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you got to make it like obscure, and it's like, oh, how do we get this shot? So we just fudged it as much as possible.
Yep. These movies are so much fun to make, and be in.
I love it.
Never ever considered, movies or film or anything like that, and now I'm always, thinking about different stuff, and there's the bike.
This is a real clean looking shot too.
Yeah.
And then Sam comes popping up out of the hill right here. And I think it was this one. Yeah, no. There's a certain point where at the end of the movie where I spit up blood and I got blood on the camera.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for the rest of the shoot. So a lot of those shots I had to crop out.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it's like right in the corner.
And that was when you were getting tortured?
No. It was after I get tortured and they take me back to the shack.
Yeah.
And I spit up some blood a little bit, and it just kind of spit up onto the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times when Cory was filming, he didn't necessarily see the focus.
Yeah.
So some of the shots are out of focus. I think there's one shot with you in particular that's kind of out of focus.
Yeah.
And all these random there's the
shack. Yeah. And how you walk up and like, this looks like a good place to hang out.
Oh yeah, we got the snake. Didn't you like the snake?
I did. Where did the snake come from? It was just out there that day, or did you guys catch him and brought him?
The kids found it.
Oh.
Callan was playing with some kids, and they found it, and Cory grabbed it since we were going out there to shoot anyways, and we just threw it out, and I was like, well, let me get it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh man, what is that? So, okay. Anyways, let's move on.
Moving on. We need to do more Project though.
So you said I would love to do more movies.
Yeah, just gotta find find the time,
find
and
the time,
and the money,
and the money, and the motivation.
Yeah.
I need to be motivated to write something. Obviously, I got Get Fiasco, but that might be a little bit more complicated. I don't think I can get that guy back. I don't think I can get Robert back to play Fiasco.
Oh, you don't think so?
Well, he lives in California, like 3 hours away.
Oh, really? Yeah, that would be tough to get him to do that all.
So, I mean, it would be some tricky, like, scheduling.
Yeah.
Even if he was up for it. So, I would like to, like, I think Get Fiasco is a fantastic script. I think it was a finalist. Was it a finalist in one of the festivals?
I don't know.
I don't know if I
didn't follow it.
If I, because, like, I'm just on here and I, you know, I submit so many different things.
You submit scripts? Just bare scripts?
Yeah, certain festivals accept screenplays, competitions. Get Fiasco was a finalist.
Oh, cool.
Well, some of these other ones were only selected. So Get Fiasco was a finalist, and All Is Fair was a finalist, and that's my, like, Afghanistan and War in Iraq kind of movie.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of.
Did you make that movie, or
I just wrote it?
Just wrote it?
I just wrote it, and Weed was in that. I put Weed in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's about these 4 guys that were stationed over in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And they went through some shit, and then they come back. And like, life is not that easy for them to kind of get back into the swing of things. Mm-hmm. And then the one buddy of theirs, like, they're like, oh, hey, you got cancer.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, you know, you probably got it over there, and the VA is not willing to pay for any kind of treatment or anything else to help him out. Mm-hmm. And so he ends up going, and the, you know, he's like, he doesn't know what to do. And then this girl that he was really into beforehand,
yeah,
like, they finally connect and hook up, and like, he's like, well, what the fuck, I'm dying now, and now I get the girl. And then his buddies are like, we got to do something, we got to get money, we got to figure out how we can fucking pay for, you know, his treatments to help him get better, help him live longer. Mm-hmm. And
they go wrong side of the law to get it.
Yeah, something like that. Something like, I don't want to give away too much, because I'm about ready to say what happens, but I don't want to give away too much.
Don't give it up. Don't give it up.
But it's got,
see it on the screen.
It's got a real twisted ending to it, and so that script became a finalist. But that was a real fun one. I put Weed in that, and Weed's in this scene where he's working on a car, and these guys are looking like, hey, we need, like, we're not making enough money just working at McDonald's, delivering pizzas, whatever. Yeah. And, you know, we understand that you might know someone, right? Mm-hmm. And Weed's not with the biker gangs anymore, obviously. Yeah.
So it's an actual afterwards?
Afterwards, the Street Toughs?
Yeah, it's after Street Toughs?
Yeah, it's definitely after Street Toughs. So, the one guy, like, Weed's like, basically, he's like, fuck off, get out of here, you know? But the one guy's like, hey, I can work on cars too, right? And he kind of connects with Weed through that, and they start working on cars, and Weed's like, okay, you know, at the end of the day, like, look, this is what you're looking for.
Let's do this, yeah.
But there's got to be a better way. But this is who you should talk to if you really are in dire straits. Yeah. But it's just the one scene that I put him in. But it was a fun little scene. Yeah. And I'm always trying to find more ways to put Weed back into stuff. Yeah. Like, I had an idea for a sequel to this, Street Toughs, because I would say Get Fiasco is more along the lines of a sequel to God Salt. Yeah. Even though it's got crossover characters. Yeah. But I was thinking of, like, filming something in the Philippines where Freddy, your character, like, you get me at the beginning trying to take you down, like a sex trafficking thing, and I get captured, you throw me into an oil drum. So Weed and Braxton, they're like, oh, we gotta go get him. And so they go over to the Philippines to try and get him back.
I see.
So that was kind of my idea, since after going to the Philippines and coming back and seeing how it was and seeing what we could do, like, I thought that would be an awesome idea, because they've... Cool.
I don't know how you could. You'd have to bootleg all that stuff and not tell anybody you're filming. And
well, they've done that plenty of times.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have. Yeah.
But that's what my style is, anyways. Is guerrilla style filmmaking.
Yeah. Yep.
Cory with his white socks on.
Yeah.
So here's here's Fiasco right here. The shower full of guns.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where he walks in and Fiasco jumps out from underneath that truck where he's working on. And
yes. So,
this is my favorite scene in the whole damn thing.
So this is.
Oh, dude.
He slaps him on the ass. So yeah, so that's Fiasco.
Yeah.
And I added this scene just because I was able to get Robert.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that a prospect would slap
another guy in the ass. Yeah, he
right,
beaten.
And he's I forgot what it's called. His position in the gang. He's the what is it?
He's like the enforcer, sergeant at arms.
Sergeant at arms. That's what it is. Sergeant at arms.
Yep. Yeah.
I love the way that all these shots of just like the fucking Chihuahua
in a giant ass bed.
I love the way that all these random shots of all the guys working together looks like
a real
like they're all shot. Actually in there, but really it's like one guy at one time, one guy another time.
Yeah. Crazy bastard.
You're doing the absinthe.
Yeah.
Oh, where did I get that from? I think it was just a thing. Like
I can get in trouble with that stuff. It's actually pretty good. The
it's
stuff
strong.
That we tried. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's the stuff right there.
Yeah.
Because you've got the jar with the dark green.
Yeah.
But you pour it out and it's the light green.
It's the light green, yeah. That's right. That's so much fun. Man.
Is this the only time you have that hat on, or do you have the hat on the entire...
Yeah, no, I didn't have the hat on.
This was day one for you.
Yeah, about half of the time. It's good you can't really read anything in there.
You get to sit behind that desk the entire movie.
Yeah, pretty... Except
where you go into the garage.
The garage, where we're in that other garage, we're torching the hell out of you.
Yes. And the toy gun.
Yeah. The orange one that lays there all the time, and then he's like, what the hell is this doing in here?
See, that came out of an idea that I had for another movie where like where it'd be a guy and a girl that looks real young.
Yeah.
And she's kind of playing in the park, and they're actually assassins.
Yeah.
And she looks like she's running around with a toy gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy's like sitting at like a park bench talking to the dude he's has the hit on.
Yeah.
And then she'll come over with what looks like a squirt gun.
Yeah.
And then they'll kill the guy.
Like
that was the idea.
See it coming.
Right, because like you're allowed to sell guns that have like an orange tip on it.
Yeah.
But what if like these gang members or whoever these scofflaws in real life?
Yeah.
Just took a real gun and made it look like a fake gun by painting it orange.
Yeah, painting it orange and make it look like a toy.
Right, and they could fool the cops. Like what has stopped them from doing that?
Yeah. That stuff is so much fun. I was not to get off the movie, but
no, that's fine.
To get on remember I sent you the text about trying to do some more realistic stuff as far as
the bus.
Yeah, Bus Stop Chronicles or something like that. There's a deal on the YouTube where they do some really...
I looked that up.
Deep interview stuff. You know, they're talking to these people that are, you know, way, way down and out. Dregs of society and all...
Everybody.
Anyone, yeah. All kinds of different people. And
there was like a guy that like half of his face was missing.
Mm-hmm. There's like meth and
prostitutes.
And,
there was a mobster dude in there too. Pimps.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I looked at some of it.
Yeah.
But I don't like watching that stuff. It's too real for me.
You don't like it?
No.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. When you
I like to live in my fantasy world. Okay.
Well, I kind of thought it'd be right down your alley because of the...
Not the real stuff. Write. Yeah, no, I'll make shit up all day long.
Yeah, but that stuff's a little too real for you?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how that guy was able to do that. Like talking to those, like...
It's some pretty profound shit, though, isn't it? You know,
it is.
If you look at it.
It is.
It shows you that, I mean, we live in our nice little, you know, houses, and we drive our cars, and we go to work.
We're definitely in a haze.
We got our own little world going on in our head about, you know, what we're going to do for dinner and what we're going to do this weekend, and how come, you know, we don't have enough money this week or this month to go on vacation and how much we're going to get our taxes back. And these guys are living right next to the bottom of the world.
You know, absolutely.
Right next to the gutter, and the end is so close. And you know, you never know. You could be walking around asking somebody for money, and somebody stick a knife in you, and you end up laying on the side of the road dead.
Well, did we? Yeah. Did you, like, before we started making Street Toughs, right? We were gonna do night moves.
They were, yeah.
And then I changed that into Crime America.
Yeah.
Right before finally settling on Street Toughs. But when we went to go shoot, we actually shot for both those previous movies.
Yeah.
But we went downtown across from the bus station, down that alley, because we had filmed there on Godsalt, and I'll tell you about that. Mm-hmm. But there's a dude, I don't know if you heard the story, but we were down there as me, Dakota, Cory, and Cheyenne, right? Oh, and Gabby. So we had Gabby and Cheyenne, you know, two like 19-year-old girls with us.
Yeah.
But when we were down there filming outside of the car, some dude came up to us and was like, "What are you guys doing?" You know, and it's like, "Oh, we're making a movie." And he was like, "Oh, really? I'm trying to get into that kind of stuff." But I was with. Did you hear this?
Okay. No, I don't know this.
So I was like, "Oh, here, we'll talk to Cory because I'm not the guy."
Yeah.
I keep to myself. It's tough talking for me to talk to people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have to talk to new people to make movies.
Sure.
So, but like I had Cory talk to that guy, right, while I was, like filming them or messing around with them or finishing up whatever we were doing, and it was pissing out that day. It was pissing real bad. What a rough day to try and film something. Yeah. That was the same day Cory got into the car accident.
Oh yeah.
Because he was leaving.
Yeah, he wrecked his truck.
Yeah, when we were done filming, that was that day.
Rough day all around.
And later on, I was like, "Oh shit!" You know, I texted Cory. What was that guy? What was going on with that guy? What did he have to say? And Cory texted back, real like cryptic, like, "Oh, don't forget about that guy. That guy's a loser."
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But later on, Cory, you know, and I got the video on my Facebook somewhere. But Cory goes into telling a story about this guy. He's like a sex offender, and he's on house arrest.
Oh, jeez. And the two 19-year-old girls standing right there?
Yeah.
Of course she's trying to get into the movie.
So, you know, this was something, you know, Cory was obviously privy to the information, and, you know, he knew to keep them clear while we were in that alleyway filming.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, the whole story's on the video, but, yeah, no, that dude was...
Whacked out a little bit.
Yeah, whacked out a little bit. And, you know, he's like, "Oh, you know, it was a misunderstanding." Whatever he had to say, and, you know, Cory was talking to him and shit. Wow. Like, he's like, "Oh, I'd have to talk to my, you know, whatever they have, someone that he checks in with so that he can get out to do something."
That's too many problems.
You know, and that's right there by the bus stop that you want to go.
Well, that's the thing. It's not... You know, it wouldn't be trying to film something else like a movie or written screenplay, and having to have, you know, everything happen in the action in the scenes that you want. It would be more of just taking in what's there, and just kind of docking more of that. Like I said, the other guys.
The soft white underbelly.
Yeah, soft white underbelly is what it was. I didn't know if we were supposed to say that or not.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But it would be more of a real world kind of see what the other half lives like, only the other half on the bottom instead of the other.
Well,
half
that's what, like when I was in the Philippines, like when we first got into Manila and we were driving from the airport to where we were staying, and where we were staying, but like looking out the window. And it's, you know, it's like a third world country there.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, you know, and I love the realism of it, but at the same time, with the...
Keep it on the other side of the window.
Yes, with the distance. It's you know, it's such a narrow-minded point of view, but, like,
you have to be careful over in the Philippines. There's stuff that over there where they'll just take you and they'll hold you until somebody else pays them a bunch of money.
Absolutely.
Or you pay them a bunch of money.
Regardless of whether you're rich or not.
You're filming a film? Oh, good. Come with us. Let me show you something about handcuffs. So.
No, it's a rough place.
It is.
But yeah, no, seeing like all the realism of that stuff, I thought was real cool. Like I like seeing that kind of thing, like like aesthetically, because you watch these movies, some movies where they do like the real thing. Like back in the '70s, they did it a lot.
Yeah.
Like they'd get real pimps to be in movies, and they'd get real cops to be in movies, and they'd get real criminals. But when we were filming God's Salt, so I don't know if you remember, like a few years back over on 4th Street, I think it's 4th Street, or is it 5th? What? The bus station is on
4th Street.
On 4th Street.
Yep.
And so there's a bar over there, Abby's Highway 40.
Oh yeah, I know Abby's. I've been in there a few nights.
So Patrick, did you meet Patrick? Yeah, you met Patrick.
I know Patrick.
Okay, because you were in God's. Yeah, you were in God's Salt, so you saw God's Salt.
I was inmate number 2. Thank you very much.
So you saw God's Salt then? Yep. Were you there for the?
I didn't make the premiere.
You didn't make the premiere. Okay, I forgot you were in God's Salt.
Yep, I was inmate number 2, and I tell my students there at the school that, and they say, "Oh my God, what the?" And I said it was a love scene.
Yeah. Okay. So Patrick, his dad is friends with the guy that ran Abby's Highway 40 or owned it. Wow. So I don't know if that's still how it is. I don't know if anyone's moved on.
Yeah, Abby's just still here.
But right on the other side of that, where they used to have a bunch of homeless people, still do. But there was a point where they allowed them to tent up and everything for a small little bit of period of time.
Yeah.
But when we were making God's Salt, I was hoping, like, so I had, Fiasco, I had Robert and Dakota go on the other side of the train tracks where all those homeless people are, and I had them run past them through, so for the chase scene that they're in the beginning of the movie. And normally on any other given day, it's full of homeless people, but that particular day there was only like one.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that, like, rustic, realistic kind of
dead dirty down under,
right? Because that would be those real homeless people in their real environment in real downtown 4th Street, Reno.
Yeah.
But they were barely even there. Unfortunately, normally, like I said, any other day it's packed with homeless people. But that day when we were filming, of course, there wasn't any.
Yeah, some of that stuff. I mean, it's a rough neighborhood down there all the time.
4th Street, Montello.
Yeah. Well, Montello's not even that bad anymore. I mean, it's
4th Street,
2nd Street, Record Street, down that far. Montello. Normally, it's like right there at Record Street where the homeless shelter is, and they've got St. Francis is right there, and a couple of other little that whole section right there, and they've got a yard where they can actually put tents and stuff. And then I've done a lot of work when I was doing refrigeration for the Record Street facility, do the refrigeration and stuff in the kitchen and the walk-ins and the exhaust fans and stuff. And you get your stuff and you go up and you want to make sure that you lock the van up, otherwise your stuff will disappear. And I've had people trying to work on the door, trying to get it open, walking around the van, trying the door handles, sitting there in the driver's seat, and somebody pulls the door handle on the side, and then they go around to the back, and they pull the door handle there, and then they come around, and they see you, and they're like, oh, sorry, man, I thought that was mine. Well, really? I didn't know you worked for that company, But it would be fun to get some of that. I mean, I don't know. I say fun. It wouldn't be fun. It would be educational and probably a little rewarding to get some of that stuff to show what that kind of thing is like.
It's too real. It's scary. Is like, I don't know how that guy
it's very thick.
I watched the one with the pimp.
Yeah.
And like I don't even know how you'd begin to approach somebody.
Yeah, and then you got to get releases for these people because they're going to be on film.
Well, even before you.
And I'm sure
the release is up front. So.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. You got to get releases from them. So you got to go talk to them and find out, hey, do you want to get filmed? And that's most people that are in that kind of line of work, whether they're...
Do you think he paid them? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm sure he probably gave them some kind of compensation, and then signed their... Oops, sorry. And to get them to send their rights away, they had to have something. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any enticement to give their story up.
Maybe.
So it may be more expensive than I think that it might be, but I'm thinking, give some of those folks $20 and that's more money than they, But then again, there's these guys that sit on the side of the highway and they get hundreds of dollars a day, and Make you think, why do I even want to have that job, you know?
Right. There are so many fucking burnouts downtown, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, we try to go down there and hang out and play, like, Pokemon Go. We like to do that.
Yeah, walk around.
But there's so many, like, burnouts. And I'm like, stay close. Stay close. Like, sometimes we're double fisting, like, you know, devices to play.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, she's doing her thing, but I
you gotta keep your head on the swivel down there. Somebody might like to have that cell phone more than you.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll snatch it out of your hand and they'll keep walking. They don't care if they get caught.
Right. It's like, I'm not really afraid of anything because there's plenty of cops like riding bikes around, riding cars, but I mean, it's not going to stop them from snatching something.
Yeah.
And taking off. But yeah.
I just noticed something on the movie there. Not a porno.
Hashtag not a porno, because that was
not a porno.
You don't know where that came from?
No, I don't.
Since we're not really in the movie business, so we're just talking to people that we work with and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And the first question you get from a lot of people is when you tell them, like, "Hey, do you want to be in a movie?" They're asking,
"Is it a porno?"
Is it a porno?
I know.
So Cory came up with that as his like production company. Hashtag not a porno.
That's funny.
Yeah, because you got to tell everybody not a porno.
Yeah.
One last thing before we actually jump into the sci-fi movies.
Sure.
So you said you watched Not in the Dark twice.
Yep.
And you told your students, you got one kid that you were telling me about?
Yeah, I was talking to the students about the movie and stuff like that, and then I sent you the picture of the one kid that I said, man, you look like somebody, and then I found him on the... Or you found him.
No, you found him. Because I didn't know who you were talking about.
Yeah.
But you found him from... now I can't remember his name, but from City Slickers.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally.
Yep.
And he's dead now, too.
That guy is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He died a while ago.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, that guy, the guy's name's Cameron. I'm not going to say his last name, but he's got that look and he's got that voice, and he would be perfect for that kind of role.
Like a mob hitman?
Is that what kind of like a little Vinny kind of, not Joe Pesci, but that kind of, underestimated, guy that, whack you with a pistol and not think twice about it and walk on. And he's super, super nice guy. I don't know that he's got a mean bone in his body. He's got a lot of stuff, personal stuff going on in his life, so it's kind of I don't know, hard to get this guy.
Oh yeah.
Plus he's actually dropped out of school, so I don't know what he's doing, where he's going now. And
so you can't even get a hold of him.
I mean, I could still get a hold of him. I could still look up his number and stuff.
Okay.
So if we need to, and he was really, really interested. He said, "Yeah, I want to do it, man. That sounds so much fun." So,
I work so much now.
Oh, do you? What are you doing now?
I still work at JCPenney's. Yeah. Over here.
Oh yeah, and they're always hiring, so they're working a lot of people overtime trying to get the stuff done.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm working 6 days this week. Today was day 6.
Wow.
I had Thursday off.
Oh.
So and then another 6 days next week. So tomorrow's my Monday.
No, tomorrow's your Monday already, huh?
Yeah, so my Monday already, and I worked the last 2 days. So we do 4 10s normally. So I do 6 10s. Right, did 6 10s this week. Do 6 10s next week.
Hey, did they pay you overtime everything over 40, right?
Yes.
You're not on salary, so.
No.
Man, if they put you on salary, you'd really be screwed. Be kind of a bad thing to do.
Well, that's what the supervisors complain about during winter, during peak, during the seasonal time.
Yeah, Christmas and stuff like that. People are...
Because they're just working for free at a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah, anything that pays over $40,000 a year, there's no limit on hours.
What do you mean?
$40,000 a year, if you make more than that, the law states that they don't have to pay you any extra overtime pay.
Really?
If you work over 40 hours. So if they're paying you 41 or 42 or 45,000, they can work you as many hours as they want, and then your pay goes down to like $10-12 an hour. Yeah. Whereas it's supposed to be like 18 or 20. Yeah, you get the really short end of the stick. So if they ever offer you salary and say, "Oh, we'll give you this much a year," do your math.
Sure.
Before you realize it, I'm in the same situation now. I mean, and it's this industry, I'm doing education. I'm teaching, HVAC and refrigeration. It's all salary. Everybody wants to do you on salary so they can work you as many hours. Mm-hmm. But if you're not on salary, you're making hourly. Some of those hourly wages out there for my kind of work in refrigeration is $35 an hour. So if you work 60 hours at $35 an hour for 40, then you get that overtime. That's another $17.50 on top. You can make some really good paychecks. I got students that have been in the field 2 or 3 years mm-hmm. that are making, I don't know, $10, $20, $30,000 more a year than I do. But good on them.
Right.
They're out there in the weather doing the work. They should be getting the pay. So and there's no guarantee what their paycheck's going to be either. So they're slow.
Right. So you said you told your students to watch the movie. Did any of them watch the movie?
A couple of them watched it. Watched part of it there, and then they said they were going to take it home and finish it on the weekends. A few guys that did say they watched the whole thing said they loved it. They thought it was funny to see me, in another role other than just sitting there, telling them and teaching them instructional.
Right.
So
this is Not in the Dark or Street Toughs?
This was Street Toughs.
Okay.
The Not in the Dark stuff, I think I probably told 2 or 3 classes right when it came out and everything was going on, and they liked that idea of having somebody famous that they know, even though it's it's bullshit. Nobody's famous doing this stuff.
Well, I just remember when Derek's brother, Braxton. I just remember when he told me, like, "Oh, I see that guy at Subway, talking about you."
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
So when people see you out in the road, because you live in Lemon Valley.
Yeah, I do.
So you go to the Subway right there by Riley's.
Yeah.
You still go there?
Yeah, every once in a while. We don't need a lot of that stuff. It's hard to, because I work different hours than my wife, it's hard to do anything but, come home and just, eat whatever the hell we have at the house and, just kind of crash out and just relax.
Did you ever see the poster?
I did. I saw that when I came in, but I've also seen it online.
It's an awesome poster. I searched out like artists on a website, and I was just looking at people's work.
Yeah.
And I found a guy that was like, this guy does good stuff, and I just hit him up and was like, hey, what's your, I commissioned him to do the movie poster.
Oh, no kidding.
And he sent me like six plus different kind of, because I was like, this is how I pictured it. I pictured like him at the top, kind of like looking over these people. Yeah. And he sent me a couple different ones. He sent me the one that I kind of described and variations. And that one, and I was like, I like that one. That one's even better than the idea that I had. And so I was like, that's the one you got to do. Yeah. And that's the one he did.
Yeah. It's cool how artists, it's like tattoos. You say, well, I want this, and I want a snake, and I want, that, or whatever you want on your tattoo. And he says, well, hang on for a second. Let me draw some stuff up, and then we'll see what it looks like. And then they come up with something you never even realized you wanted, and it's way better than anything you had in your head.
Well, and I've said this probably a million times on different podcasts. For me, the idea behind Not in the Dark was like getting out of school on like a Friday night, and your parents take you to go, pick up a pizza, and stop by the video store and pick out a couple of tapes. Shit that you don't even know what it is. Yeah. And like horror movies had a lot of random, just like artwork boxes.
Just to get their attention.
Regardless of whether it's like a good
movie
or not.
Or even related.
Right. So then you take that, you go home, and you're with your friends, and you're eating pizza, and you're watching some shitty horror movie. Yeah. Not that my movie's necessarily shitty.
Don't oversell yourself.
But I think my poster kind of is a little bit better than my movie actually is. Yeah. My movie's a little slow in the beginning.
Yeah. I like you said, I knew that it was going to build, so I've only seen a couple of bad movies in my entire life. I like just about every kind of movie there is. The couple of movies that I've seen, there's one that just strikes me as so bad, and that's The Life Aquatic with Bill Murray.
I love that movie.
Do you? I think we talked about it last time I was over. It's so boneheaded, trying to figure out when is something gonna happen?
I love that movie.
Do you really? Maybe I gotta watch it again and be a little more fair to it.
I've got a Bill Murray from that movie Funko Pop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Steve Zissou.
Oh,
I've got
no
a Steve Zissou Funko Pop.
That's funny.
I think I love that movie.
I gotta see it again because maybe I'm not.
It probably won't.
I watched it a long time ago.
It probably won't do you any better.
Well, I watched it back in my late 20s.
There's no way.
And
bullshit.
Or maybe 30s.
Bullshit.
Maybe it's 30s. It's actually a pretty old movie now.
No, well, it's 2004, I believe.
No, it's earlier than that, isn't it?
No. Probably even 2005.
Okay.
Probably 2005. Probably
okay, so
February.
I watched it in my 30s then. But it just, I've got a whole different look on life now than I had back in my mid-30s. I was always work, and you know, had my business.
I saw a movie in theaters. I saw it in theaters.
Really?
Yes. And it was me and like one other, there was like another couple in there. The theater was empty.
It was a big box office seller then too, huh? You had 2 people, 3 people in the theater.
Every story I hear is that people, when they saw it by themselves in an empty theater. I loved it though.
Did everybody like it?
What, Life Aquatic or Not in the Dark?
Yeah, Life Aquatic.
I think you get people like me and people like you, people who hated it and people who loved it. Yeah.
How about Not in the Dark? What kind of reviews have you gotten? What kind of feedback have you had?
Like, I got people that loved it. I don't know. Like, it's all over the place. Like, I mean, Rose, my wife, like, she understandably thought it's slow at the beginning and there's not enough gore. And, like, everything that she felt was wrong with the movie is what I felt was wrong with the movie. Yeah. And it's just a matter of the fact that I'm doing everything by myself. Mm-hmm. I didn't have anyone to kind of do my makeup and special effects, which is what I needed. Yeah. And Cory didn't want to do anything on this movie. And then he regretted not doing anything when it was all said and done. And then, speaking of Cory, there he is.
Yeah, he's right on the screen. He's got such a full basket now, trying to keep ahead of the kids and the wife and everything else like that. And you know, he's working and she's working, and we're trying to do separate schedules. And now they're working almost the same hours. It's kind of hard to have time to do anything.
He's trying to be fucking sneaky, and he almost
knocks over the outboard motor. Such a badass.
What's with the JFK posters in this bathroom?
I got them at an auction.
Oh, so this is your thing?
Yeah, that's Kevin Costner's JFK. I picked those up at auction. I think nobody was interested in them. I got like $3 a piece, and they're actual movie theater
they look
posters.
Like lobby cards.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were. And they're made out of cardboard, pretty heavy cardboard, and they're trifold, I think, is some of it. And I didn't have a use for them. I didn't have a place to hang them, so I gave them to James. I says, "You like this old shot? Yeah, I love JFK. That was a good flick." And then he was also around during that time. And then I find out that he hangs all 3 of the cards in the shitter. So I don't know.
Look, I love this scene because
it's kind of hard to watch Kevin Costner when you're taking a crap.
So. I love where Cory is trying to con his way out, and Dakota's trying to like
that guy right there at that angle.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like Randy Travis a little bit.
You know what? He kind of does. Randy Travis is no longer with us either.
Did he die? Just recently. Then, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Because he got something real bad, MS or something. Right?
Yeah, he did have something going on.
Originally, the scene was supposed to be in Spanish, because there was supposed to be a bunch of Mexican like scabs.
Oh yeah.
And then I was thinking, like, it'd be funny if those 2 white guys were talking to each other in Spanish.
Oh, that would be funny.
And we put subtitles at the bottom of it.
Oh yeah.
And it would just be funny because like he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to the Mexican scabs that Freddie went and got."
Yeah.
But then it's just the one white guy.
Yeah.
And they're both like he throws some Spanish.
I could have got you Mexican scabs.
Oh,
I
hindsight's
had Hispanic
2020.
kids all time in school.
Yeah, we didn't have them back then.
During this time?
Yeah.
Wasn't I still working there at the school?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Perhaps.
My truck when it was broke down over at Cory's house.
From the red one?
Yeah, the red one's my truck. It was.
Was that the same red truck that was parked in the back of in the previous shot?
No, that was a Dodge.
Okay.
That was something that James was probably working on. But that one there was when I had to put head gaskets on it, and Cory and I and a couple other people, I guess, got it done. That runs good. I can't get him to buy the damn truck though, because he wants me to give it to him for nothing. And
Cory?
Yeah. And I got to have enough money out of it so I can go buy a dually so I can pull the trailer that I've got now. So
Cory only likes Subarus now.
Yeah, he's got 2 of them in the driveway. The things that he always complained, oh, I'm never going to drive one of them. Never one of them. And then his wife likes it, and oh, I got to get one of those now. I got to get 2 of them, in fact. Oh, well. He's a businessman now. He's not the biker that you see on the movie.
Oh, he sold out.
He did. He's a sellout. He sold out to corporate white collar America. Loser. I mean that in the most loving way that a father could mean it. By the way, Cory. So
this is such a good fucking scene, man. I love this scene where the 3 of us are doing this back and forth,
trying to figure out what the hell you can do, and
right, and whether or not he actually has the money, and he's like, I don't got no money. I didn't do there. It's fucking bullshit.
Where did the money come from at the end? I don't remember where the money came from.
So the money is the money you were skimming. You were skimming the money. So Cheyenne, Nikki.
Yeah, she's the one that ended up shooting me.
No.
No, different girl? No, it was
Ashley.
Ashley.
No, Nikki. So Ashley was your daughter.
Yep.
Nikki, Cheyenne was your niece.
Niece.
She stole the money from you.
Yeah, and I was trying to get it back so the mob wouldn't find out.
But she was working with Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
So they were working together, but really, she was trying to fuck everyone over. Nikki was trying to fuck everyone over, and what was Ashley's character's name in this?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I know, it's crazy.
But she knew you were pulling some shit,
yeah.
And she knew Nikki was gonna double cross her. So really, she was working the 2 of you.
Yeah.
Whereas you didn't know what the fuck was going on, and Nikki
no
thought she was working the 2 of you, but really Ashley was working the 2 of you instead.
Which one I'm left with the guy from back east? When they walked out after they dug my eye out and shot me in the knee.
Right, that was Ashley.
Was it Ashley?
Yeah, that was Ashley. Where she's got the skull makeup on. I had her go put the skull makeup on. Because they're telling the stories about, like, hey, there was a hitman, these spook stories.
The guy with the mask
and which was actually her old man.
Mm-hmm.
And so her ex-husband, who's dead now, and she just took up the mantle of what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I don't know, it's not exactly spelled out for you in the movie. And this was fun because you see the 3 of them come up.
Yeah.
And then I look at, and then you've got like a shit ton of people there, and that's really just me, Derek, and Wes on one side, and then me, Derek, and Wes on the other side.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Just with masks on and shit. All right, so let's talk about like Fifth Element and Dune. Let's talk about Dune real quick.
Okay.
So you didn't watch Dune. I watched Dune.
I've watched Dune before. It's been a while, but I've watched both versions.
Well, because we wanted to, and this is going back years when we had these great grandeur plans of doing commentaries for movies.
Yeah.
Me, Cory, and Casey sat down and we did Predator.
Oh yeah.
And then we never did another one. The next one was supposed to be Alien with you.
Yep.
And we all watched it, but we never were able to sync up schedules.
Yeah, and I ended up coming in and doing that one.
Well, then you ended up coming in and just talking with me like now.
Yeah.
But originally I was thinking, well, like let's do Dune, because Cory's like, oh, my dad likes sci-fi stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, and I had just probably finished reading Dune for the first time, and then watching it and watching the sci-fi version. And there's a new one coming out pretty quick. That's
another Dune?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's gonna be amazing. It's from the guy that did like Arrival. Did you see Arrival?
Yep, I did.
And Blade Runner, the new one.
The new one, yeah.
That guy is doing the new Dune, and it's like an all-star cast. And it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But I just watched Dune, and then these are my Dune Funko Pops. So you got Paul Atreides.
Yep.
When he's got the blue Fremen eyes.
He's got the blue eyes from the spice.
From the spice melange, and then I've got the Fade Ralph Sting.
Yep.
Here he is, where he's just wearing the like diaper thing, and then here he is ready to fight with the knife that he got from the Emperor.
Yep, exactly. And that's the other guy, and then You can never forget the big fat slobbering drooling guy.
Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah, that's right.
Baron Harkonnen is floating around because
he's so bloated and
he can't no longer. Yeah, and like so this is David Lynch's Dune, and I love David Lynch's Dune, and I love David Lynch, and a lot of my movie inspirations are David Lynch.
Yeah,
like Blue Velvet. Did you ever watch Blue Velvet?
I think I did. I recognize the name. I don't remember the movie.
Well, you should give it another watch. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my big inspirations for my crime movies.
Yeah.
Blue Velvet. So did you like Dune?
I like Dune. A lot of people, because it's a long...
It's about maybe 2:14.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was a long movie.
Right.
And then you look at Avatar, and it's just, it's like 3.5 hours long.
And Avatar's got a lot of action in it.
Yeah, and this is all quiet and calm.
There's so little action in Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was watching it Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, there's nothing going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's not that far off from the book, though. And I don't know why people don't like David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah.
Like it's all in there.
It is.
By and large, from the book.
From the book, yeah. It's a really good, I guess you could say, not necessarily translation, but version of the book. I mean, it's still, you can't, in 2 or 2.5 hours, you can't put everything that's in a giant novel.
Right. And it's not like probably wasn't the biggest production budget because it's not a very colorful movie.
No, it's all dark and
very muted tones.
Muted tones, sand and
right. Black suits.
clothes.
Yeah. Like the best you're gonna get is the blue eyes.
Yeah. The blue eyes and then the giant worms cruising through the sand riding. I never did get the idea of the spice and the worms.
Well, I'm watching it, and like I said, I read the book years ago when we were going to do the podcast.
Yeah.
And so it's not as fresh right now.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, what did they say? I forgot what they said. And I just watched Tremors the week before too.
Yeah, Tremors. So you don't get mixed up with Tremors and Dune. It's a little dissimilar there. You get two different ideas.
It's the same. Is it the same concept where they're going off? Yeah, no, because they've got the giant poles that they stick in the ground that vibrate.
They vibrate to bring the worms.
To bring the worms over so that they can go somewhere else and just get distract them. Then that's before they start riding them.
Yeah. And that's...
well, the spice was...
The spice was the worms.
No, the spice... Was it?
I thought the spice ended up being from the worms somehow.
Well... When he shows up and for the first time and they're like, hey, check it out, we've got like all this water underground. We're just waiting for the right amount and then we could raise it up and terraform the planet. And the world will be flush with water and we can it won't be right, it won't just be the sand planet that it is, Dune, Arrakis. But at the beginning of that movie they bring in the big squid looking bulbous head guy.
Yep.
And those guys are living off of the spice.
Yeah.
And they got that way from years and years of like spice addiction.
Yeah.
So but it puts them on a whole nother level. They got some weird scenes in there.
Mental level, yeah.
There's some weird scenes in there where it's like shooting beams out of its mouth. I don't know if all of that was in the book.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of weird, very David Lynchian scenes in that.
They had to put something on there to make it exciting, right?
But they got that way from the spice, but they're on a whole nother like mental level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they want that spice for that.
Yeah, it's kind of at that point it's kind of a drug, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
But
it's like a way of life, but it's not, And
then the other guy, Muad'Dib, when he gets here, it kind of turns into almost a religion.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like the because they've got the Bene Gesserit women. Mm-hmm. They're like witch women.
Yeah.
They've got their religion. And then Muad'Dib becomes like Muad'Dib is like the god he's the god.
Like the worm rider, the guy that does
and like and it ends with him being like the
top guy.
The top guy. And then I know the books from that point forward go on to him being like, well, maybe he wasn't the chosen one, kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know that I've read I mean, it's probably been a long time since I read
I didn't go past 1.
Yeah.
But I know that the other ones go into, like, oh, now he's all powerful, Muad'Dib, the godlike figure, but then, like, trying to handle all that, it's like, oh, well, he is just a guy.
Yeah.
So there's some disillusionment there in that.
Yeah, it's a different kind of movie. It's not for everybody, for sure.
All right, and then let's finish up with Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, one of my favorite movies.
It's funny because watching it with my wife, and she probably hadn't seen it since probably it came out.
Yeah.
Like 25 years ago. Pretty close too. And it didn't. I don't feel like it held up as well.
Well, you don't think so?
No, not at all. It seemed very mid-90s.
I think a lot of it probably is the fact that Bruce Willis is the same guy in every single movie.
I think he's better in this one. I think he's better in this one.
But he's always, I got the gun. I'm gonna kill people. I'm gonna blow shit up. And he's always right in the middle of, oh my God, what the hell's going on?
I think he's a little bit more loosey-goosey in this than some of his later stuff, where he's just John McClane.
Yeah, he's kind of got a dry sense of humor, or at least a sense of humor, in this one. And
right, because he's got Chris Tucker running around doing like his weird things. And he's with it, and
Chris Tucker's that guy's Ruby Rod. And there's a lot of slapstick kind of weird humor in this one too. That's not normally in a lot of science fiction movies.
You know? I don't think it holds up as well because, like, we're watching the Blu-ray on a nice looking TV.
Yeah.
And so it just, some of the graphics didn't quite blend as well as when I watched on cable on my old box TV back in like '96.
Yeah, the manufacture of the movie's a little bit different. I mean, it's you're right. It isn't quite as clear and crisp and as some of the new science fiction stuff is just incredible what they do. And the CGI.
It's seamless. It's seamless, and that movie isn't so seamless.
No.
Even at the end, I noticed when the diva is singing.
Yeah.
You could see the makeup on her face,
and the the blue rubber thing in the back of her neck, wrinkling, and like a big air balloon on the back of her head.
It's funny because Luc Besson, who wrote and directed the movie, is like a good writer director. Mm-hmm. But I felt the movie didn't stand the test of time. Really, it was so goofy.
It is, but it's still a fun movie.
It is.
It's not hardcore science fiction. Because, I mean, the 1914 Egyptian stuff, and then they bring down this big thing that looks like
But when the aliens come out, they're like these, like...
walking bagels, you know? They're big mechanical bagels.
They're so terrible. Like, whoever designed those...
Yeah.
They're the worst.
It's not a very functional design for a creature. How would something like that evolve? You know?
I don't know.
And what the hell's inside? And then, of course, the one survivor... has the glove. Now, are they telling us that there's human-shaped bodies inside of those suits? What's the purpose of the suit?
So watching it, I think what they did is they adjusted the creature. I think it was all robot or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
But a biological robot. So that's what it is. That's what it's adapted to, and it's technologically advanced, whatever. But since we only have the technology, and I think this is great. This is like my favorite part of rewatching it is the 3D printing of her.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to print, if not already printing, 3D organs right now.
Yeah. We're drawing them from stem cells anyway.
Yes, and 3D. I've seen some 3D printed footage stuff.
Yeah.
In its infancy, but I thought that was great because they did 3D print her.
Yeah.
Based on the DNA, but since we only have our own kind of, like, we can only do it for humans, as far as in the movie goes.
Yeah.
So they took that DNA and 3D printed what a human would. But otherwise, it's supposed to be originally that robot thing.
Yeah, but it still started off with the hand in the glove. So it was.
And
they started with the bones right together.
Right. I think they fucked up in that bit because then, what happened to that?
Where's the rest of the rocket?
I don't think that was. I don't think that was a glove.
Blown up?
There's no way that was a glove. That was a hand.
Well, there was a glove with a hand inside of it.
Are you sure it wasn't just that was the hand. Because those robots are robots. Otherwise, they have humans inside them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It looks... And why would you have a human inside of that suit, or a human-shaped alien or whatever, inside of that suit? And why would you have that shape? Is it for the atmosphere? Goofy. And if it is, then why would they have that atmosphere that's toxic to the beast?
Let's assume that there is no atmosphere. Let's just assume that all they are ship people, and they go in and they settle in and connect into what they are.
True. Well, then they started out with sections of the bone as they were printing, and then what happened to the rest of the hand? Did they go the other way and print the rest of it?
Let's assume that's what they did. They had to have done that.
Yeah, because I
don't think it was a glove. I think it was just the hand, and that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. And then they had the hand. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they went in there and took that part back out.
So now they're still hanging on to that hand.
So they were just starting from there, and then they had to go back and rebuild the rest of the hand.
Right.
And then they covered the whole thing with tissue, and then they bombarded it with ultraviolet radiation to make the skin grow.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was the layer of the. They had this big thing covered up, and then the light went back and forth, and that was supposedly what
muscle.
grew they did the muscle and the nerves, and then they did the skin afterwards. I don't know. That's it. That part of the movie was a little bit weak, but when it comes out, you got this. She's perfect. Well, I don't know. It all depends on what kind of girl you think is perfect. She's hot by model standards, but she's not my type. So.
Well, beyond who it is that they got to play, what she looks like, because I think when they say perfect, I don't think they're talking superficially. I think they're talking down to the base DNA of what it is it's a perfect being.
But all the sexual innuendo that they show with everybody staring at her, they're like, oh, she's perfect. So I mean that they're kind of putting that on top of that as well. So
a little bit. I mean that's
part of the slapstick part of that movie.
Right. And she was like a supermodel, Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Prior to.
Yeah. And she's got this really weird language when she first comes out, and she can't understand plexiglass, but then all of a sudden she starts talking and 100 miles a minute saying stuff, and if you want to get out of here, you have to start learning English.
Right, yeah, no, she's trapped in the chamber that they created her in, but then basically, and she freaks out.
Yeah.
But then basically she's in that same situation in the back of his cab when she drops into it, and she doesn't quite freak out. She's trusting of him, unlike being trusting of the other people.
Because maybe it's like she knows that this guy's there to help her, and she understands that, he's going to be there at the end to make sure that, she can fulfill her mission. Mm-hmm. So until she figures out what war is.
Vibing him a little bit. Yeah. I think they cut it way too close at the end of that movie, too.
Yeah. It's like they had a thought process, and then all of a sudden, we got to get the rest of it into this little section of time.
Right. They didn't need to cut it so close. We already know, if they gave them like a half an hour to do it, is it going to be any different if we watch the movie where they got 30 minutes to finish it up opposed to 3 minutes?
But it might have been, at the end, it might have been, that's when that planet, we know
they're going to make it, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because otherwise it wouldn't, we wouldn't be sitting in theaters afterwards watching it, right? But it's kind of strange that they show all that stuff, and the last little zap, he kisses her, and then all of a sudden she realizes, yes, there is love, and then all of a sudden she shoots the bad guy.
It's so goofy. Yeah. It's so goofy. The bad guy being some weird amorphous planet thing. Yeah. That took 300 years to get there. It's really goofy. So it's not a thinking man's sci-fi. It's let's watch a cool, fun, colorful Bruce Willis shoot 'em up.
Yeah,
set in the future.
Set in the future, exactly. Yeah, because like I said, it's just like Red or any of the other stuff that he's done, where he's everything's
not
I'm
going to
shoot you
seriously. Maybe.
Yeah,
Red's definitely not taking himself very that seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not like Sixth Sense, as you said earlier.
Yeah, Sixth Sense is a little bit deeper movie, and that's that M. Night, whatever his name is.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. I can never get the last name, but I like him as a director. A lot of people don't like it because you don't like that, huh?
No, I don't like his movies.
No kidding.
I like Unbreakable.
Unbreakable was good.
But then, like, can't be everything after that was like garbage that he made.
Yeah, the one with the village.
Right.
That's
weak.
Yeah, weak. The whole premise is weak. You're living in
modern
12th century England in the middle of the United States, and you don't know the rest of the world's out there until you run through a cornfield. Okay, so who tends you outside the cornfield? You run out onto a road, and oh my God, there's a car. Oh my God, we're in the future. That is kind of.
And what was the other one? The Happening.
The Happening. Oh, yeah.
Where the plants were what? They weren't giving off oxygen anymore or something?
No, they were actually the plants started communicating, and then they started sending out these pheromones that made people do stupid shit like lay down in front of lawnmowers. And, it's like, well, okay, we finally got a weapon that we can use against the bad humans. We're just going to send out these pheromones to make these people kill themselves, and then we'll just be the plant planet,
And isn't like Mark Wahlberg like yelling at a plant or something
in
one scene of the movie?
Yeah, that's kind of silly. That's kind of goofy in that regard.
And then he went and did Split, which was the sequel to, or no, Split was the spin-off from Unbreakable. And then there was Glass, which was the sequel to both of them.
Oh yeah. See, I don't know those two.
Well, Glass, because Glass brought Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson back as those characters.
Oh yeah.
And it was bad.
Was that the one where they're coming back from the future? No.
No.
Which one am I thinking about there?
With M. Night Shyamalan?
No. It's a Bruce Willis movie where he comes back.
12 Monkeys?
I don't know. There's so many Bruce Willis movies that are
bad. 12 Monkeys is a time traveling Bruce Willis movie.
Is it?
With Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And they're in the insane asylum, and he's traveling to the one instance where the guy they're at the airport, and he starts shooting people, or he's going to let off a virus or something that's going to decimate the planet.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis keeps trying, like, God, is he going back in time? It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think he's sitting in a chair, and either he's going back in time in his mind.
Yeah.
And he's trying to remember which guy it is that he keeps seeing, and he thinks, like, is it Brad Pitt? He sees Brad Pitt in one of the flashbacks.
Yeah.
But it ends up not being him. It ends up being like David Morse, another guy.
Yeah.
Well, is that all we got to say on Fifth Element?
I don't know. Fifth Element, like I said, I still think it's a fun movie because of all the action and the shoot 'em up stuff, and then
I thought it was worth a re-watch.
Yeah.
But it didn't do anything for me on this re-watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I said, I have a hard time differentiating good to bad movies. There's a lot of bad movies out there. But
I don't think it's garbage. I just don't think it holds up as well as it did.
Yeah.
The last time I watched it, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah. Was still pretty good then.
Yeah, but I was like...
Your tastes are different too now.
I was like 27 last time I watched it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's crazy how your tastes change for the different kinds of movies and the different things that you like to watch.
Well, like I said, watching it this time, I'm like, man, this looks exactly like a mid-90s movie.
Yeah.
Like, it looks so mid-90s.
It is a little bit dated.
And that's how all those movies looked back then, because movies don't look like that now. Mm-mm. Movies don't play out like that now.
No. Back to the Future?
Very different. Well, and I just watched that, too.
Yeah.
And I thought that movie still holds up insanely well.
Yeah.
But once again, watching it...
But it's known to be goofy, you know what I mean? It's a DeLorean with a, flux capacitor. I mean,
there are definitely some spots, sure. But, like, I'm able to overlook those because the rest of it is so good.
It's together.
The
it kind of
acting,
flows.
like Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox and everyone, like,
yeah,
all the seams fit where they're supposed to fit.
Mm-hmm.
So even if there is a little bit of a weaker spot,
it still flows through it. Still, and then the next part.
It's still able to flow through it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Fifth Element does have that, like I said, at the end, it's just kind of go through all this stuff and all these struggles and oh my God, this, and they keep looking for the stones, and then they keep doing that same scene where, oh, I found the stones. Oh my God, the stones aren't here.
Right.
Oh, I found the stones. Oh, the
twice.
stones aren't here. So you got to think about, okay, why can't somebody find some simple, stupid stones? You know, just can't do it.
Well, because he's asking the stupid people to do it for him.
Yeah.
True. They're like,
and then, but even at the end, he's, why, you do something? Do it yourself. And he's running up the case, running up the stairs of the ship. He's already set the bomb, and he's flying away. And then all of a sudden, he opens up the box, and he's laughing, and he's crying. There's stones already here. And then he runs back, and then all of a sudden, he turns his bomb off, and then somebody else's bomb with a 5-second timer.
He set himself up for failure because the first time around, those guys were like, look, we just got the box you told us to get.
Yeah.
You didn't pay us to look in it and make sure it's there. And they did the same thing the second time. They're like, oh, here's a big box.
Yes.
They didn't look into the big box.
Well, no, he got the box the second time from Lilu. She tossed it, and then he
because those guys had it. Those guys were searching the room for the box.
Oh, and then they found it.
And they dude grabs the box without even looking at it.
Yep.
And so that's when he comes in and blows them all away and tries to blow her away. And he takes the box and takes off.
That's what I'm saying. So he's just as guilty too, because he didn't look in the box before he left the room.
Yeah, and that's a kind of a plot hole.
I know.
It's a big plot hole.
You're right.
That's a big plot. And you know what? If he opened the box and looked in, that would be a great opportunity to keep Gary Oldman in the movie, and maybe have him act with Bruce Willis in some scenes, and
maybe go all the way to the end,
and maybe have a bit stronger of an ending, where like there's a bit of a showdown with the main bad guy, this famous actor Gary Oldman, and famous actor Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
let them get some screen time together, rather than like we've got Gary Oldman in our movie, and what's he doing? He's not really doing anything.
He's not even with the guy. Yeah.
So.
It would have been much better if they'd had some kind of continuity, or at least put those guys together, because they're both great actors, in their own right.
And that's what I do when I write my movies. Is I think like I want to get from A to D, and I need to make sure that I know what the B and C are.
Yeah,
like in Hollow Man.
Yeah. Even if the B and C are kind of
it needs to make sense before I'm saying that the script is done. Like, does this make sense why they're doing this?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't make sense, then I need to figure it out before I finalize everything.
Put the rest of it on there so it actually fills in.
Right. Well, is that all we got to say about Fifth Element?
I guess so.
All right, well, that's Sequel Podcast for this week. I'm Matt Bonta.
Darrell Easley.
Peace out.